Okay, roll call. Frank Meyer,
Here.
Jamie Ballman,
Here.
Leanne Baldwin,
Here.
Donna Roth,
Here.
Martha Patterson.
Here.
We have a quorum. You should call for the approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion, we approve the agenda as presented.
Yes.
I second that motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
And a motion for approval of the minutes from our last meeting, April 21st.
I make a motion to approve the minutes from August 21st.
I'll second it. Have a vote?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Staff would like to introduce into evidence the municipal code for the city of St. Genevieve, the adopted design guidelines for the city, the staff report, and their respective case files. Subject to a motion for approval.
I make a motion that we accept.
I'll second it.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I think we have no old business.
Hold on, I gotta make my notes here. Not as good as this. Who's seconded the agenda? Is that Martha?
Me.
Yes.
Jamie.
You want first, the first one?
Nope, I was first on the minutes.
Okay.
You have to speed up, you're holding the meeting up.
Yeah. Okay, first case is CPHC 055. It's a request from the First Presbyterian Church to remove a non-original window from the rear of the building and the transom over the rear door of the building at 150 South Main. And representatives of the church present, somebody want to step up and inform the board?
We've been in discussion with
Name
the...
first.
Oh, I'm sorry. Becky Millinger and Pastor Steve Matthews is here. We're representing the church, and I'm the chairperson of the O'Neill Task Committee. We have been in negotiation with contractor to restore the building, and we have a certificate of approval that you gave us last year in October. But this request comes because we have had to modify some of our plans for the building because of costs. All of the contractors have bid the job. The minimum was about $100,000 more than our budget. So we're looking at ways that we can bring the budget down. The whole back wall, which is the west wall of the house, is going to have to be replaced, and they felt that if we could take the window out of what will be the food pantry, which we don't need the window there because we'll have shelving there. There is another window in that room, and so if we can remove that, it will reduce our cost, and then removing the transom when they rebuild that entire wall will also bring our costs down. We have other cost measures, but they're all in the interior, so they don't need to be approved by you guys. So that's what our request is.
The only correction is that's the east wall.
Is it the east?
Yeah, it's on the east side, the back side of the house.
I'm sorry, I was always bad with directions. I just know which way to go. Okay, so I stand corrected, it's our east wall. So, yeah, so we would like to, when they rebuild that wall, that those things be eliminated. Now they will still be in the front of the house, which is the streetscape, and there will still be the transom, and all of the plans that you approved last year will still be in place in there. But you can't see this wall from the back of the from the front of the house. So.
Will the door use the original, or the door that is there now, or will it be a replacement?
Oh, it'll be a replacement. I've always said it's a wonder that someone doesn't spit through that door and knock it down. It's really in bad shape. So yes, it will be, all of that will have to be rebuilt on that wall.
And that door will be a handicap accessible
Right,
door.
that's the handicap
It will be a
accessible
handicap
door,
accessible
so
door in the
yes.
back.
Yeah.
When we approved this previously, it has been described as a French colonial house by those guidelines. In some cases it is, and in others it's not typical.
Right.
And another thing that made it difficult is the severe condition of it. Normally in restoration, you either devote your effort to the structure or to the appearance, both if you can. But in this case, your structure is so bad that that's going to take a great deal of your resources.
Right.
Exactly.
Now that porch in the back, I think was a very important part of that structure originally. I recall when Dr. Thurman found that one day, he came running out to my house to tell me that he found a porch in the back of the house.
Right.
Nevertheless, I think if we could keep the same general appearance of the house, if where the porch posts were, we would just put I don't know what you would call it, a vertical element down on the side, on the outside of the siding to indicate where the porch posts were and look like a porch. And then in describing the thing, granted, any old house that's restored, you're explaining to the generations that follow after what the house was like when you got it, what it looked like, and what was the house like originally. And you could just point to these and say, this is where the porch was, and there was an interior porch on it, which we could not use.
Was it like that when...
It would be very reasonable in cost, and it would keep the same general appearance on the back facade of the house.
Okay, because the plans as we asked for them to be approved last year, the house will look exactly like it does, only it'll be nice, it'll be painted, but basically it'll have the same style, the same frame, the roof will be the same. I don't recall that when they did the historic structures report, they did find evidence that the south wall, is that right? The wall next to the church.
Yes, well,
Yeah, the south wall, actually, that side of the house had a porch that was enclosed at some time. The wood was different and they could tell it was much older. But I don't know how long that change has been there, probably from longer than Dr. Thurman owned the building. I mean, in fact, probably into the 1800s. That's when we know that there were some major changes made to that building with the dormer windows. And so I'm not sure, you would have to give me more explicit information about what you're
All I'm
asking.
saying, I think take a look at that, because it would be better if that other, and there was a porch there. I mean, that's
Right,
hard
they
to
think that was a
deny
galley porch at one
The
time.
structure was there.
Exactly.
I'm not suggesting you try to put the porch back in. That's more than you can afford, and would not be useful to your interpretation of the structure anyway. But consider leaving evidence that there was a porch post there, and
Okay, I'll suggest that to our
Yeah.
architect, Marion
Yes.
Smith,
Bring it up to
and see
your
what,
architect, and I
and
think
see
it
what
would
she
make
can
it
come up
instrument.
with to leave just some indication that that's where the porch was at.
I think you're right, that would be a pretty simple thing to do.
Yeah.
To make that indication. So yeah, we can check into that and see what we can do with that.
And
But you're talking about on the east side, on the back side
Yes,
of the
I am.
house? Okay.
yeah.
And not on the south side?
Right, no,
Yeah,
but
okay.
what I was saying that was on that particular side, on the side where the food pantry is, which is the north side, then there was no indication that that was a galley porch. In fact, they believe that that was originally the room where the kitchen always was, on that side where you're talking about, where there was a galley porch. That was made a second kitchen. Mr. Wilson, who lives up on Academy, grew up in that house in the 50s, and he walked through the house with us and told us that his uncle lived on that side of the house, and he had his own kitchen and facilities. His grandparents lived on the north side, and they had their own kitchen, but they felt because the cabinetry and everything, that was the original kitchen. No one really knows. There is no documentation about it at all. So it's all speculation, but we do know that the wood was older in the inside of that southeast area of the building, that was apparently a galley porch at one time, maybe O'Neill's time, probably O'Neill's time. So, but we will do that. I'll suggest that to Marion Smith when I speak to her tomorrow.
But we're really happy you were successful in raising the money to do the job, because it's an important building to the city, and it's great that you're restoring it.
Thank you, we appreciate that. It's just a little unsettling whenever we have that money and it's not enough, and we don't know what we'll find. That's the thing about we have some contingency, but they've already gone above that.
That's
So,
right. We do that.
Now, when you replace the back wall and that door, will the door be made taller to replace where the transom was?
No.
Or will it just be a smaller?
the transom will just be removed and it'll be the same size door that's there, but like Pastor Steve said, it'll be a handicap accessible door because we have a concrete walk that goes around between the church and the building to the back that'll make it handicap accessible, which it is not right now.
So the door
Will be,
where the transom is now will be siding?
right, yes, above the door entry,
Right, a
it will be
little,
just siding, right.
Entry area where the door is will be sided.
No, where the door is now is where the new door will be.
Right.
But the transom will be sided. There
Right.
won't be a transom
Right.
above it. Yeah,
Right, above
right.
that will be siding. They'll just carry the siding over it.
I make a motion to accept or approve it.
I make a second.
And we have a vote. A vote for this motion. We don't have a vote.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, the second case on the agenda is SGH CO 5617. That's a certificate of appropriateness to install a freestanding carport behind the house at 198 North 4th Street. It's at the corner of 4th and Washington.
That's correct.
Pardon?
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jessica Johnson. Pleased to meet you. I purchased the home back in August, and I'm finding that my beautiful pecan trees are ruining my vehicles. So I need some covering for the behind the house. And I'm not familiar with your processes and so forth, so I'm here for maybe you to give me some guidance as well. I've gotten estimates on prefab carports for behind the home. It will not be seen from Washington, and it will not be seen from 4th Street, where I want to place it behind the home.
Will the carport be within the fence that's there now?
Yes, ma'am.
So it really won't be visible from any
No, ma'am.
aspect?
That's correct.
Well, the only objectionable portion of what we see here is its metal roof, which be probably a very good structure, but it does not look really appropriate for a historic district. It's a little bit too modern.
But it will be hidden from,
Yeah, you
Yes.
will not see it from
no, sir.
3rd, I know, but I think you will see it from Washington. Or you'll see it from 3rd going south.
I am actually looking long-term to put a garage back there to get your approval eventually for a garage to match the home. But I'm looking at something temporarily right now to protect my vehicles.
Well, I agree that you need something there to protect your
Okay.
vehicle.
How will it be
I would
secured?
like to see something a little more appropriate to a historic district than what you
I
suggest.
see nothing wrong with this, really. It's not a permanent building.
How will it be secured to the ground?
I am pleased to do it however you suggest I do it.
Well, you weren't going to put it on a slab, is what I asked.
Yes, sir, it's asphalted behind the home.
It's already there,
Yes, sir,
so it'll just be anchored in the existing.
correct, yes.
It's in the back of the house. There's a fence on Washington. You can't really see it.
And it's in the historic district.
That's true.
And
but
what most of the funding that's come to the city over the years has been due to the historic structure. And you all ignore
Well,
it.
on the guidelines, I don't see anywhere that it says a garage or a carport or whatever has to comply to look like a historic building.
Oh, you don't?
No.
Oh, dear.
How tall will this structure be?
Is it in the specs that you were provided?
It says 6 feet. Is that accurate?
That's what the
And
company
surrounding
is.
fence
Yes,
is
ma'am.
about 6 feet.
Yes, ma'am, it is.
Yeah, 6 foot high is what it says here.
I sympathize with you, Charlie.
How tall?
It says 6 feet.
The legs will be 6
6 feet, yeah.
Yeah, right.
I don't think the roof's going to be.
Probably the
6 feet.
peak is
Yeah,
probably,
they're
no,
beautiful.
probably, the peak is probably 8 foot.
She might have sports.
I don't think you or I would be walking under it, yeah.
Yeah, that was what I was kind of,
The picture that I don't know if I'm being too particular, but the picture that I see is one of those awnings that comes down from your peak and then curves around. There's some other ones that just have a regular gable.
Just breaks at a
At-
straight angle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That's what's kind of inserted on the GIS.
Yeah, if you look on
Well,
this
that's-
picture, she's got, there's like a frontal view. of
Well,
it,
that's
and
what
it looks
I'm
like what
asking.
you're talking about right
yeah,
there.
it would go with more of the type of
Right.
roof line on your house instead of having that curve that kind of comes down. And it might not be as distracting because I notice when the light hits that they have that curve on there. And maybe when you're coming up from 3rd Street, you wouldn't see that because that's the only way I think you'll see this at all.
And the elevation of that property is pretty high. I mean, you're coming up,
Yeah, you got a.
yeah, you got a
stone wall.
Yeah,
be looking
Bank.
up at the
right,
wood fence.
right, yeah.
That's my only, just, I guess, addition is that the type of roof line then would be the same.
And again, that's not what the guidelines say. It doesn't mention anything about if it should be pointed or whatever. I think this is appropriate. And I'm going to make a motion to accept and see what you guys think.
Yeah, there is a little,
Well, I agree that the carport is needed. She needs a carport. I just think that this particular design that's been submitted is not as appropriate to the historic district as it could be and should be.
But aren't we making guidelines ourselves by specifying a specific thing like on a carport?
What was that question?
She's asking if we are starting to make the guidelines. That's what she's asking.
No, but I believe we are, it's our responsibility to try to maintain the historic district as a historic district. And all structures don't fit really very appropriately within a district. I am not opposed to a carport there. She has to have a carport, she has a car, protect the car. All I'm suggesting is a little bit different design, as you suggested perhaps, would be more appropriate.
So, I just want to know we're on the same page. So you're suggesting the metal's okay as long as it does this and not this? Is that what you're,
Pretty much.
That's what I'm saying.
is that what you're saying too?
Well, it's not my first choice, but I understand that the board, I think, would go along with that. I would rather see some type of a wooden structure or, but
Well, I think since it's going to be temporary, because you plan to build a garage later, that would be more like the guidelines. The roof line would be the same if the gable was the same on the carport as on your house. And it would also eventually be that way on your garage. So that's what I'm thinking. If when you do see it, then it all goes together. Because it's hard to see. I mean, I've driven by and it is difficult to see the way it's way up there. So I would make a motion to have a similar gable carport approved.
I second that.
So it's approval with a sloped roof and a gable that's facing Washington.
Yes.
Can you do that?
I've
You just
I'm
trying
just
to,
saying,
all
yeah.
I'm saying is, I'm sitting here, now she's got a design, and now you guys all redesigned it, so I don't know.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And I don't, if I can say this, I don't know what the guidelines are. Maybe I need to be provided the guidelines. And I did, upon contacting to have this meeting and to provide you material, I did ask that question, and I was not given an appropriate answer or an educated answer. So please forgive me if I'm coming a little unprepared here, but
I don't think you're unprepared.
No.
No.
It's just
You're
that the-
not unprepared.
Here is what the
I-
guidelines say.
So we have a second on the floor.
I made a second.
We have a
We have a-
motion to approve and a second.
Yes.
And do we have a vote?
Aye.
I'm going to vote no. I think this is going too far.
Okay.
Motion approved with no
Yes.
negative vote.
Yes. We're good.
okay, so what am I walking away here with?
That's the good question, I want to know what she's walking away with.
Exactly, I want to know.
The only difference is,
Did you just redo the whole thing?
Approval with something that looks more like that.
I'm cool with that. Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank us for confusing you.
Yeah,
That's okay.
I'm sorry about the confusion.
That's why I said, where we're at.
Okay. Final business tonight is SGHC 05717. It's a request for a certificate of appropriateness to install a 6-foot wood privacy fence on the rear yard and replace the existing asphalt driveway with concrete at 365 South Gabory Street.
Hi.
Hello, good evening.
You've done a great job on that so
It
far.
looks wonderful.
Thanks. Thank you.
Yeah.
Used to, when you come in town, the first thing you do was the church. Now it's that little blue house.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
It's coming along, so.
Just state your name, just so it's on the record.
My name's Tim Meyer with Meyer Holdings. And I guess you have the plat and the plan showing what we're trying to do. And sent over a picture of the fence, a 6-foot privacy fence is what we're wanting to put up in the backyard of the home.
Just add to the home improvement.
I notice you're holding it off the property line, and there's significance in that, just to make it easier to mow, or?
Easier to mow, and then on the back side, it's a jungle and it's a retaining wall. The retaining wall is pretty much the property line, and
Okay.
it just, so we thought we'd keep it out 12, 15 feet from the back and just be able to weed eat and mow back there just to kind of, and keep the trees and the shaded.
From all sides there.
Yeah, so we're just trying to keep that, and then kind of off the property lines, just to kind of, contain the backyard and just a little private for the people staying there. They'll be open just enough to bring in lawnmowers and stuff needed in the back.
Will you be staining the fence or raw wood or paint?
Right now it'll be treated, a treated 1x6. The posts will be 4x4s, and then the horizontal members will be 2x4s. We can paint it later or stain it later, just whatever we need to do. But probably for the first year, it'd be just treated lumber, like you see.
So this shows an assembled section. Are you buying it assembled?
I don't know yet. I don't know. Might just buy the parts and pieces and do it, or we might buy it assembled. They're like 8 foot wide, 6 foot tall sections, so we might do that also. So either way, the look will be the same. They'll look either.
I'll make a motion that we accept the project as, approve the project as submitted.
A second.
Well, we also have a driveway you're going to replace a...
Yes, we want to replace it's an asphalt driveway right now, and we'd like to just replace it with concrete.
Probably just a flat slab.
Basically draining slope towards Gabourey, for water drainage, and around the utilities, the gas meter, and air conditioner. We probably would do keep them up on a pad, just like a gravel or a decorative gravel, right, in just a small area, but most of it would be like a concrete driveway. Just replacing what's there now, basically. It's there's a cedar tree growing up through there, and it's buckled, and it's time to get it looking good too.
About how big is that going to be?
Say 20 feet by 20 feet approximately. It's not a real big area. We'll figure we'll have two. And what we're trying to do also is create a second parking spot, since we have really no front to it. So we have a 2-car or a 2-space parking is what I'm trying to create. Yeah, to keep the cars off the street as much as we can. It's congested right there, tight.
Not a really wide street there.
Nope. So we'd have two car, at least a two car parking spot, and just make it look nice.
Right, so the application had driveway on it, I assume your motion.
The motion,
the entire application.
I made the motion, we accept it as submitted. Yes.
And a second?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Okay, and I wish I could speak with authority about the administrative approvals that you did, but I wasn't involved in them. So I was involved in the sign because my crew put the sign up.
Yeah, went by there one day and it's like, oh, they
And
didn't
then
like
there's a sign telling people where.
They moved it.
I know that we had approved the renovations that are being done at 302 South Gatley, and Carla was reporting on some of the things that she would do subject to that prior approval.
I think that looks great, taking that Sunday.
Well, the right guys who finally owns that building. It's
Going to be a great improvement.
If that was me, I wouldn't even paint it, I'd stain it. I'm sure that cedar.
And I'm not sure who's at 137 North Main Street.
I was
Somebody go by there?
wondering
130, so what's your address? What's the church's address?
160 south.
Back this way, on the opposite side of the street. That would probably be the dress shop.
Is that the old firehouse, or the,
Right. The dress shop next to it.
right, that's what I was thinking.
I'd ask for any questions about these, but since, okay. Any other business that,
Don't know of any.
everybody who's here has already commented?
Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second motion?
Okay.